There's always this period where the bar is still moving and
like awkward wait.
Yeah. I'm like, is this working? Yep, that's good. Let's post that. Okay. Bill, we're live on YouTube. Say hi to our YouTube viewers.
What's up, YouTube?
All right, we're gonna have to say hi again in a second. So let's tone it down a little bit because we're about to go live on here. Record on this computer, and we are live, Bill, on YouTube. It's the Commish Perry and for the Bill. Bill, we got one more week till the playoffs, and you know what that means.
That means it's 7 days to something.
To the playoffs.
Yeah,
it didn't mean anything. I didn't have anything for that.
Okay.
You played it pretty well though.
I tried.
Bill, how's it going on this Monday?
It's going well. It's a beautiful day in central Pennsylvania. Sun is out, it's breezy, it's about 55, 60 degrees. I'll take it.
I'm sporting this for a very special reason, Bill. Do you know why?
It's because of the resurgence of the television show.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this goofy logo that doesn't have much to do with a duck.
Other than its foot.
Oh, is that what it's supposed to be?
I would assume it's the foot, duck bill, the foot. You know, like it waddles on. It's things that's on the bottom.
Is that really what this is supposed to be? Looks like a manta ray.
To me, it looks like a foot, like a duck's foot.
Okay, well, we'll have to find out what that actually is. Anyway, exciting week in Empire Hockey Association action, Bill, where my Minnesota North Stars are all but out of the playoffs and need a near miracle to get in.
You still had a chance.
And that's the only, as far as in and out of the postseason entirely, that's the only kind of, drama.
Yes, it's you in Buffalo.
Right. And
trying to get past Buffalo.
There is, however, divisional drama, which we'll get to. Very exciting stuff.
You've discussed the all-important nature of the bye. So, yes, very much so.
We have discussed it. Big bye implications coming up in this week. We'll get to all of that. But first, Bill, let's get to the Gritty Gazette, which, for better or for worse, Patrick has handed off the top 3 players and goalies of the week to us because we keep correcting him. Probably, I don't blame him for that. So let's go to our top 3 forwards of the week, Bill. And coming in at number 1 on the week, it's Mike Zibanejad.
Yeah, he did okay during the week. He did all right.
32 points, 32.5 points for Zibanejad, 8.1 per game.
Many of those in one game.
Yeah, I think that the Flyers need to stop being terrible, especially against the Rangers.
Well, the Capitals had been that way against the Rangers for a while, but not to the extent that Philly had. But you're right.
So Zibanejad number 1. Phil Kessel for Arizona.
What's up, Phil?
Put down his hot dog and put up 28.25 points, 7 per game, 5 goals on the week. I believe that was tied for the most in the league with Rocco Grimaldi of all people.
Yes.
Then Martin Necas from Carolina and, of course, Chicago. Tom's center/winger. He's available in both. Still on his ELC. 25 points for Necas.
The Carolina connection for Chicago.
Yep, 8.33 per game, 4 goals, 3 assists. So those are your top forwards of the week. Your top defenseman, Bill, led off by our top overall point getter, which I'm not sure how many times that's happened this year. I should be keeping better track of these things. But it is Adam Fox, the former Harvard Crimson, plays for Boston in our Empire Hockey Association Rangers in real life, 35 fantasy points on the week, 8.75. He had a goal and 10 assists. And again, reaping many of the benefits of playing the Flyers again.
Yes.
For the
and
IRL
yes.
Rangers.
Yes.
Second top D-man was a return to form for Chris Letang, of all people, in Pittsburgh, where I think the Penguins are secretly kind of turning things on. I know Sidney Crosby's been hot.
They're right in the thick of it in the East Division.
You only figured it was a matter of time. That was a pretty veteran team.
Washington, Pitt, and Boston are all right there, and the Islanders. You figure those are the 4 teams that are going to be in.
Letang, 19.7. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say even with the decent amount of time left, the East is going to play out that way, I think.
Letang, the second leading defenseman on the week, plays for Winnipeg in our league. He's 33 years old. He's making a hefty $7.25 million a year, but he put up almost 20 points, 6.5 per game, a goal and 4 assists. Probably some other defensive stuff too as well. Roman Josi for Nashville plays for the Anaheim Ducks in our league for Bruce. He's making, I didn't realize he must have signed a new deal, almost $12 million for Josi, but he put up 18 points. That's 4.5 per game. Not too shabby. Third defenseman of the week. What do you think from those defensemen, Bill?
Well, Roman Josi probably outperforming his cousin, I don't know, Greek Josi or Italian Josi, maybe. I don't know.
Sounds like a Mario character.
Yes.
Josi. Anyway.
But more. So here's a debate: better Roman, Josi, or Hammerlick?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Both probably better than Czechmonic.
And
stuff for the debate. Who's the best Roman?
Good point. You could also throw in that new pill for people with with problems.
Yes, that have the vertical issues. Yeah.
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 That's a fourth Roman. We could do a poll. Anyway.
Yes.
Speaking of polls, let's move on to goalie of the week. We have too much fun on the pod. Top goalie. Man. Guess who it is at the top, Bill? It's Kevin Lankinen.
Lank Daddy.
34 points on the week in 3 games. He even had a loss in there. 11.33 points per game. All 3 of the top goalies this week had over 11 points per game.
Goodness.
Connor Hellebuck, usually up there, plays for Ottawa in the league. Winnipeg in real life, of course. And then another Minnesota goalie having a good week. This time it's Cam Talbot, causing all kinds of problems in the start or sit category as far as Empire Hockey Association owners are concerned. But he's on Quebec, and that's big news for Joe. If he can have Talbot running hot, his rest of his team loves to lay the lumber and they can score as well. Could be big down the stretch of the playoffs. The problem is, Bill, who's going to play for Minnesota? You gonna add some to that or no? Okay.
No. Good question.
Gestured. That gesture's not going to show up on the podcast. Bill gestured with the palms up guy, and I said, turn that into words, please.
When you're on a video Zoom, you forget sometimes that you need to speak. Yes, correct.
Yeah, Juuse Saros was the honorable mention. He had 10 points per game, almost 11 for Nashville. Also looked like a little bit banged up there. Mackenzie Blackwood, who was on the waiver wire all year, he turned in a cool 8.08 points per game, 24 total on the week. The 24-year-old he's on a team now. He's on the real-life New Jersey Devils as well as the EHA Devils. And for the first time, let's tell you who our rookie of the week is, Bill. It is Pius Suter from Chicago, 17.75 points on the year, 4.45 per game, 3 goals, 2 assists,
and on the
4
bench
contests.
And on the bench of the team that owned him, if I recall properly, in the Slack this week.
For Montreal, there was chatter about that as well. Honorable mention to, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Eli Tolvanen of the Nashville Predators had a big week, 16.5 points for the California Golden Seals, Bill.
Yeah, that rookie production was indeed on Montreal's bench, but it didn't matter because he still beat me by 28 points.
Yeah, that's not hard to do. We know this year Bill's team is not really trying. Let's get to the standings, Bill. And we talked about it at the top of the show, but the lone drama remaining in Empire Hockey in or out postseason wise. And while there's an outside shot at the Rangers getting in, I believe they need 3 wins and 3 losses from Buffalo to leapfrog the Sabres there. They're 5 points back. My Minnesota North Stars at 30 points are 3 points back of the Sabres at 33. That tie could come in handy for Buffalo if things are equal this week between myself, or if my team goes 2-1, he only has to win 1 game to stay in the playoffs. So let's get to the matchups on that one, Bill. My week is difficult. I'm playing the division leading Penguins at 20-10. The would-be division leading Anaheim Ducks are 23-7, if not for the Winnipeg being 25-5. And then I get to play New Jersey, who is 11-19. Right now, the Devils are in 4th place in the AT&T Lily Patrick division. Go ahead, Bill.
The AT&T Lily Patrick, one of those divisions where the division lead is 1 game separating the first place team and the second place team. As you face Pittsburgh, as you mentioned, and the hot Flyers are now 1 game behind, 19-11 there. So a battle there between who wins the AT&T Lily. Where the Penguins, as you said, the Flyers get Houston, Winnipeg, and Detroit. So the Flyers have their work cut out for them because those are 3 juggernaut teams that they have to face this week.
We'll get to the division stuff in 1 second. I just want to finish this thought on Buffalo and myself.
Sorry. Yes.
No problem. Buffalo plays California Golden Seals, which
not good.
This is where you're saying, this is where I'm showing you that I need a miracle here.
Yeah.
They play Cal,
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Why am I not pulling this up? Yes, there. Ottawa Senators. Yep, I see that.
And Patrick. And
the Islanders.
Yes.
So standings wise, the way this shakes out, theoretically, Alexis should go 2-1, and I should go 1-2, and make no doubt about what's going on here. But if I can somehow manage to go 2-1, he goes 0-3, or I go 3-0, he would only still need to. Oh, he didn't win 2 games at that point, I believe, or tie 1.
Yes.
Again. Let's not get into ties.
Yeah.
Right. Don't need to get into more ties, even though they're possible. Anyway, yeah, Bill, let's continue on to what you were talking about there. The 2 division leads, which stand at 1 game or 2 points in each of those divisions. You mentioned Pittsburgh with a 2-point lead on the Philadelphia Flyers, coming on hot here, 19-11 for the Fly Guys. And then 6 points behind the lead is the Islanders, who are squarely in postseason play, but not in the line to try and win that division.
Right.
And the other tight division that Bill also already mentioned is the Nicorette Patch Adams division, where Quebec at 21-9, 42 points, leads Montreal, their buddies from Buffalo. There's all kinds of bragging rights on the line going on in Western New York.
And Quebec has to face Ducks, Houston, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a challenge to win that division.
Road.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why it's all that more important that Talbot stays in and he sticks with him. Or I believe he also has Markstrom up in Calgary. What's his form been like? Because I don't know.
Who, Markstrom?
Markstrom, he's kind of been done a downturn, I think. I can look that up right now.
I feel like you're correct about that.
Let's see. Markstrom, last 7 days, 0-3. Well, 0-3, a total of 4.75 points, 1.5 per game. Over the last 2 weeks, he has 5.25 points per game, 0.88. Yeah, it's basically Talbot or bust right now. To Joe's credit and to his, joy, Talbot's come on strong. He had a 19.5 point, 37 save shutout against St. Louis last week, helping him to one of the top spots in the league.
Right.
Last 2 weeks, he's got 43 points. That'll do it. You need 20 points a week from your goalie is solid production, and that's what he needs at this point.
I was one of the groups that had 0 this week because my team had COVID.
Oh, Montreal.
Yes.
Yeah, I had one player involved in that, it was Brendan Gallagher. As I quickly take a look at my roster, because lineups need to be locked for some games, right? Am I wrong here? We got some 7 o'clocks on Monday.
Pretty sure.
Yes, we do. Islanders, Pittsburgh. Puck drop at 7. Might throw that on. Justin Hall and the Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Edmonton Oilers at 7 as well. So do the very lowly Buffalo Sabres and the Philadelphia Flyers, and Pens and Isles, I already mentioned, going off as well. Yeah, so some 7 o'clock games. Make sure you get your lineup set there. Big week. Trying to make the playoffs, trying to jockey for position in the playoffs. There's
make or break.
Yeah, exactly. Bill, before we get to next part of the show, I'd like to remind everyone that today's episode is sponsored by the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, now streaming on Disney+. That's why I'm wearing the jersey, to help promote the beautiful show they put together. And also by Jelly's Cookies. If you're in the greater Houston area and need delicious treats, you can call Jelly's Cookies or order online. Enter FUR2BILL to receive 25% off your first order. Offer not available at all locations. Bill, back to the pod.
Yes.
We got plenty of hockey to be played here. A lot of teams playing 4 games this week, some 3s, but it's really, we're not seeing any kind of the big makeup groupings that we might need to see at the end of the year. That might come in play during playoff time, but we're not 100% sure how that's going to work.
It could. I mean, there's been a tiny bit of that COVID pause, but really, like, Montreal is the really only noteworthy one. I feel like maybe Boston lost a couple like 2 weeks ago, I think. But
in a while, right? But whoever Montreal was supposed to play, right? There's got to be some game there.
Correct. Yes. So that, and you're right. It's some of that little things impact the playoffs when we get to that point.
Bill, I got an IPA here from Lord Hobo.
I have a Nestle Pure Life bottled water.
Well, you're working, so not now, but soon.
Well, kind of, sort of, yeah.
So yeah. You can have Nestle. I can have this beer.
Fair. I like it.
All right, so we've gone over those kind of the big matchups that we have going on here. Who are you playing this week, Bill?
Let's see. I have the Sharks, the Blues, and the Rangers. So the 10-20 Sharks, the 10-19-1 Blues, and the 14-16 Rangers. And it will be a battle between myself and the Coyotes to see who has the low record entering the Yoss tournament. I'm 3-27 and Phoenix is 2-28. So we shall see.
Anything off the waiver wire of any interest? Curtis McDermott just got picked up.
A couple former Capitals got picked up. Sabres picked up Hagelin. Kyle Okposo made his way onto the Canadiens. Calvin Pickard got picked up by the Coyotes. So I remember that happened. I think he dropped Riddick.
Yeah, Riddick's gone, which is my old member of my squad.
Yeah.
And we got some injury news out of the North Stars. Jason Zucker is back from a long injury. Not even sure if it's worth putting back in the lineup, but we'll see. And obviously the trade deadline is come and gone, but Okposo, Bill, I was going to mention, I know you talked about it, but he started to play a little bit and put up actual positive fantasy points for once. Yeah,
and given that he now has 6 on the season, I think probably 3 or 4 of them came within the last week or two. So I guess these things are bound to happen from time to time.
He's getting paid $1 million per point. That's pretty good, I think.
Yes.
He's close to 1, I think.
Goodness, yeah. Was it? I think this past week it was 2 goals and assists. I think he has 2 goals and assists his last 3 games, if I remember right. So
that's pretty good. Good. Bill, I'm not sure if we're going to get Jelly on. I was hoping you'd come on to promote his cookie production business, but that's okay if he doesn't. He said he was busy.
Just remember FUR2BILL when you order for 25% off.
That's exactly right. Let's look at let's find our matchup of the week. Anything that sticks out for you? We can talk about some. It doesn't have to be your number one, but maybe some ones that are important. You think?
Well, there were several in that mix when we
Right.
mentioned earlier of the teams that are like in the playoffs. Because I mean, just looking at those impactful teams, Ducks play Houston, Ducks play Detroit. Winnipeg has the Penguins, Houston, and Detroit. So some of those top teams. No, that's not. No, I'm dumb. I'm again in the wrong spot.
That's okay.
Winnipeg, where is it? Winnipeg has Quebec, Philly, and New Jersey. Philly is the one battling for that division. So, I mean, there's a lot of really good games. I don't know. I'm sure there is like an elite matchup out there, but like,
yeah,
just looking at it, there's just a lot of really solid matchups.
There's almost like a round robin here. You have Montreal playing Houston, Montreal playing Detroit,
Yeah,
Philly playing Houston, Philly playing Winnipeg, Philly playing Detroit. Like it's
right.
like there's like a jumble. I can't even like mentally wrap my head around that. Like as far as like how many teams are playing each other at the same time, they're playing someone else vying for that top spot in the league, in the division.
Yeah, and Quebec again also in that mix too. So yeah,
right,
they're
Quebec,
all muddled right in there. So I mean, you could flip a coin, and one of those is probably your matchup of the week, I have to think.
All right, so the question on everyone's mind, Bill, and by that I mean only Tom's, is will Chicago get to 30 wins? And they only need one more to do it. They're 29-1. The question is, will they lose it? Will they lose a game this week and not get 32 wins?
Boston, Islanders, and California Golden Seals. I have to think it's going to happen.
They're going to get to 30. Boston's been playing sneakily well, but maybe not well enough. Islanders could give him a game.
It would make Patrick's season if he pulled that off this week.
Right, I think he hates that Tom's team is so good more than anyone else.
I do get that impression.
I was gonna say maybe other than Spatty or potentially me. I don't like it. Also, Potts is the new owner of the Coyotes. Yeah, who's come in and sold for the future seasons, and I'm sure he's got a lot of draft picks out of this. So do you, right? You guys are both kind of trying to pick up some picks along the way here.
We have, yeah. I've made a few of those the last few weeks.
Looking at the upcoming rookie round picks for Arizona, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. That's pretty good. The key for them, of course, will be and a first in 2022. 2 of them total. The key for them is going to be performing well in the next round of playoffs, because it doesn't help just to get into that tournament. You actually have to perform in it. So,
and I'm hoping to not have still the most fantasy points allowed, when that time comes, which I still have allowed the most points this year, but by my opponents facing me. So.
Right. The good news for the first round of that is everyone's kind of dumped into a pool, and then just like the cream rises to the top there. So there's nothing points against wise is going to hurt you other than people passing you to get to that top 8 of that. Let's go over that a little bit, because I know we'll talk about it more next week when it starts. But the top 12 teams, right, will make it to the actual playoffs. Top 4 get buys. 5 through 12 play in the first week. The other, if they're going to do quick math, 14 teams in the league now all get dumped into a pile. And then the top 8, so 6 teams get eliminated out of that first grouping in the second round of the tournament, the lottery tournament. We call it the lottery tournament now because it is just winning in the tournament only gives you best odds. It doesn't give you exactly the number 1 pick. So once those 8 teams will then play down just like the playoffs will, all the way down to 1, with that team getting the top odds at the top pick.
So does that mean I don't even get into the draft pick tournament if I'm that bad?
No.
Yeah. Everybody plays for it. Yeah. Okay.
All 14 teams get in. That first week, you will get It might even be 2. I might be. Yeah, I think it'll do 2 weeks of that because there's 2 weeks on the end for the title game of the regular playoffs, but not for this tournament. So there'll be 2 weeks of just 14 teams duking it out to have the top to be in the top 8, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then those 8 will be seeded 1 through 8, and they'll play down in single elimination fashion
The rest of the way.
Whereas in the regular playoffs round, you do obviously have the buys, then those top seeds will draw into that. The final championship round of the pro actual playoffs need to come up with a better name for. Do we call the pick tournament the pick tournament, or because some people refer to it as the YOFs, but YOFs is just short for playoffs.
Well,
so I'm not sure what people are referring to when they say YOFs, except for that it's.
I think that should be the YOFs 2 sponsored by Jelly's Cookies.
That's why you're the best, Bill. Very
so
smart.
the actual playoff tournament is YOFs.
And then
second one's YOFs 2 sponsored by Jelly's Cookies.
By Jelly's Cookies.
Yes.
There's always room for one more.
Correct.
That's the tagline. I'm sorry I'm doing Jelly's marketing for him, but
I like it.
Someone's got to do it.
It's what friends are for.
Anyway, so yes, YOFs. The final championship game is 2 weeks long. Whereas on the other side of things, YOFs 2, sponsored by Jelly's Cookies.
1 week.
The first week is
the
first week is 2 weeks. The first round of jockeying with all 14 teams in it. That way we get the most out of that on the front side. Anyway, so that's how that goes down. Excited to see how things line up next week, except for the fact that I Need a Miracle to make the actual playoffs. We'll be missing it for the first time ever. Although we've only actually had one playoff tournament come to its conclusion due to a global pandemic.
Yes.
Where the Ducks took home the Coupal Cup last year. We most certainly, or almost certainly, will have a Coupal Cup champion for real this year. And just like I said, trying to hold on there is Buffalo, who was our inaugural champion. Alexa was on the pod earlier this year. And maybe we'll have him on again if he makes the playoffs and he can rub it in my face live on YouTube.
Guests always welcome.
Mm-hmm. And I believe it looks like Jelly's not going to make it, Bill, but that's fine. We'll have him on at some point here.
Darn.
We'll leave it at that. And before we go, Bill, any thoughts here heading into the final round of the regular season?
Man. It will be neat, at least from the fantasy perspective, like you said, with several teams getting like 3 and 4 games in this week. So, I mean, it could be interesting at the end of the week to see point producers, like the top point producers at the end of the week. We could have some 30-point guys probably again by the end of the week, 30, 40-point guys maybe.
Awesome.
Which is always neat.
Always fun to see. Did you get your hits numbers in, Bill?
Well, I didn't get all of them in, but I did see that Montreal had like 100. I think it was 117 or some ridiculous number like that. I think it was Montreal and Pittsburgh. Montreal had 109, but Pittsburgh had 116. Yeah, so kudos again to the Penguins and the Canadiens for their excellent checking.
Nice hitting, guys.
Yeah.
That'll do it for our show once again. This is the Empire Hockey Podcast for the Bill. That's him over there. I am the Commish Perry. Once again, thanks for listening, and a happy hockey to everyone.